Welcome back. Guys, we proceed our lesson with creating formulae. Okay, what I've been giving you previously, I give you the formula. You just enjoy substitution. You get the final answer in a relaxed manner. But in this case, you're going to come up with a formula that works for you. We call this creating the formula. But let's have a look. First example. Let's read this together. The formula need to be created in certain scenarios. Okay, I will come up with the scenarios. Cool. Let's look at the example 1, which is scenario 1. Okay, read this with me. Levo is passionate about building models and decides to build some to sell. His fixed cost is 200 Rand and each model cost him 60 Rand to make. They are time consuming to construct. It has no significance anyway. They are time consuming. Okay, so he sells them for 100 Rand each. How many figures here? Okay, we've got this 200, we've got 60 Rand, we've got 100 Rand. Okay, we don't know what is expected of us, but looking at the question, write down an equation to represent Levo's expenses. Okay, now listen. When we talk of equation is the same as formula. I'm trying to say, find the formula that will work for this particular scenario. Now, the equation will be as. We're finding the equation for expenses. Okay, remember, this guy builds the model and he sells them. Now, the expenses, if I'm to, let's look at this. If I'm to go back here, his fixed cost is 200 and each model costs him 60 Rand. The fixed cost is 200. That is fixed. He has to pay that. This is why on here the expenses will be 200, which is fixed, plus something else. Remember, each model cost him 60 Rand to build. Now, depending on how many models he managed to build. So this will be an equation. This will be the formula that works for this scenario only. Remember, we have got the scenario of expenses, but if you leave it like this, okay, we understand that times number of models he makes, but we need to put this in a mathematical way. You don't have to be perfect at this, but look at this, what I did. You must always try to simplify the equation. Your equation will be 200 plus 60 times m. This m will now replace the number of models he makes, this m, where m is the number of models. Just write your equation like this, and you need to elaborate further. What does this m represent? The m represents the number of models. You put your formula in this way. Now you created the equation. Perfect. This is your equation that works for this scenario. Let's look at other. This is money. You may get it because it's money. You may get it right quickly. But let's look at other stuff. Okay. Well, we still have create an equation that represents Levo's income. Okay, still money, but it follows what we have there. So we have income as 100 times number of models sold. Easy. 100 Rand is income times number of models sold. So getting to the next example here, we have Igaba cell phone network offers the following cell phone contract package. You have monthly fixed rate of 150 and you have calls are charged at 1 Rand 05 for the first 60 seconds and then 8 Rand per minute during peak hours. I think you get this. I mean, it's quite long, but we need to memorize this. Off-peak calls are charged at 90 per minute. I'm happy still money here, but different scenario. Peak hours text messages are charged at this. Off-peak messages are charged at 0.25. Guys, I know that you're good at this, like cell phone things. So Shuri takes out a contract and he made some peak and off-peak hours calls and text messages during April. Create a formula for his total cost in April. Okay. Now, the cost, we need the cost for this guy who took the cell phone contract. We go C for cost equals, remember there is a fixed rate of 150 there. And then you're going to add, this formula is long, guys. I know that you're good at cell phone things. Then I'm going to say 1.05 times M. Remember, after 60 seconds, you charge this, depending on number of minutes after 60 seconds. Now I will go like plus. My formula carries on 0.80 times N for other calls. And then you have plus that 0.904 of peak. You have P for that. Look, I just chose these variables here. You will define them at the end, what these variables mean. And then you have plus 0.70T plus 0.25Q. Guys, this is the formula, and it's what I chose to have, like this way. You may have your own structure, but what is important, tell us what you did. Tell us that 150 plus 1.05 times M. And then at the end, you tell us what does this M mean. And then at the end, if we look at the slide again, what does this M mean? What does this N mean? What does this P mean? What does this T mean? And what does this Q mean? But this is creating the equation or creating the formula. Right, guys? I think you got all this, like creating the formula. Until we meet again, guys, in the next lesson, I've enjoyed being with you. Cheers.